Hi, gorgeous friends. Laurel here with Illuminating Souls. And I wasn't planning on sharing all of this soon, but I woke up this morning with the guidance from the angels to share with you more about the epic project that I am birthing. I also have called this my big scary project, but when it came forward with a huge flow of excitement and enthusiasm. But it's not just about the project, it's about the journey that's brought me here. So this video is, I'm assuming, is probably going to be a little bit long because it's going to weave together a number of different threads that have been present in my life for a while. So I feel like I want to start by sharing with you about how I came into my gifts with writing. It was the year 2000, and I was going to visit a friend who was recovering from cancer, and she was bedridden. And I had this um, guidance to go and buy her a journal with gel pens so she could write or draw or do whatever she felt like she was doing while she was healing. And while I was there, I heard a voice that said, "Get some for you because you're sick too." Meaning that I was working through a lot of stuff and I would also benefit from this form of journaling. And when I finally got home and sat down with my gel pens and my journal, I was guided to start writing differently than I had before, that this just wasn't going to be a, dear diary, this was my day kind of thing. But I just started writing in a voice, in a way, in a presence that I'd never experienced before. There were lots of once upon a time stories about my inner child. There were dear God letters. There were just so much that poured through me. And it opened a portal and I started healing. And a lot of other things happened that also took me on my healing journey, but that was a really profound moment in my life. And so when I reflect upon it, I think I didn't know I was a writer until I was 38 years old. And when I started sharing some of my writing with people, the I almost immediately started receiving the question, when are you going to write a book? I really want to read your book. I love your stories. Would you write a book? I want a book so I can give it to friends. And so for the last 18 years, I've lost count of the number of times that people have asked me when I'm going to write a book. And they're not the only ones. I've also asked myself the question, when am I going to write a book? And I've had, God, it's been such a long process around this. For a while, I thought that I needed to write a book that was really important, my very important book about the spiritual journey that would have chapters and that would take you on a linear journey. And of course, I don't write that way, and so that never got started. And then I was going to write a book about beloved love and get receiving more love, and that didn't seem to go. And then I thought I would write a channeled book because I'd heard about how other people had written channeled books. And I thought, well, this is just going to be easy. I'm going to ask Josephus to come in and I'm just going to take dictation and then I'll have a book. And that didn't happen. And so this um, promise of a book has been with me for a really long time. And I've also had faith that at some point my future self will compile a book. My future self has got it all worked out. She's going to figure out how to be much healthier than I am, and she's going to write books, and she's going to travel around the world. So I figured at some point I become her. And so when I got the guidance to launch my writers group again a few months ago, I really started reflecting on my own journey as a writer. And I was looking through some of the old things that I had written, and somewhere in something I had written, I don't know, in 2002, I had vented my frustration about how everything that I write seems to start in the middle of somewhere, that I don't write things that have a beginning and an end, that I write in the middle, and that I can see my books, but they're just snippets. They're snippets of titles, of words, and people can pick them up and go anywhere and they'll find exactly what it is that they need to read. And I love those kinds of books. I have those kinds of books from authors like Sark and Brian Andreas, and then some of the 365 days things. And I realized that for the last, let's see, I really started making posters for Facebook around 2012. So for the past 6 years, this has been my form of writing. I write in snippets. I write in a few sentences here and there, and I love it because it's complete. It's a complete offering when I do that. So for the past, oh my God, 2 years or so, I've been playing with this idea of how to compile this into a book form, and I've come across like all of these hurdles, and because I have this creative process that is sometimes messy, and a part of me really wanted to learn the Adobe program InDesign so that I could design my own book. And so then there was this hurdle of learning InDesign, which I would get frustrated with and I would never do. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll hire a designer, but that means I've got to put the book together before I offer to them. And what I really wanted to do was to be able to sort of patchwork it together like I was making a quilt. And then a few months ago, I was playing in Photoshop, and I came up with a prototype that I loved. I just have one page done, and I look at this page and I get so happy. I'm like, oh, if my whole book would be this, I would be so happy. And then I would get caught up in, well, how am I going to do that? And Photoshop is going to be unwieldy, and so I get in my own way. So, okay, so now I've talked to you about how I became a writer. I talked to you about how some of this came flooding back to me with the writers group. Now enter Loved Up Vitality, which I shared with you about already. But it's really my aha in this was that, oh my God, the angels know how to motivate me. The angels know how to inspire me, that this is not just about me trying to sprint from a dead stop, and that they would be bringing an infusion of energy and enthusiasm and resourcefulness to me to help me move forward. And I don't even have to figure out what I want to move forward on. The angels know. They'll know. They'll dangle the carrot, the metaphoric, energetic carrot in front of me, and I will get excited and exhilarated, and I'll say yes, and I'll go. So this is this theory that I've been working with. And then a few weeks ago in the shower, this is what the angels downloaded to me. They say, we want you to put together a project team and invite other people to birth their big scary projects too. They weren't calling them big scary projects. That's what I called them. And they said to me, and what you're going to do in the 8 weeks is you are going to birth your book. And I was in the shower and I was thinking, oh my God, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? I can't, how can I do that? Oh my God, can I do that? Oh my God. All right. Okay. All right, what would this look like? And so I'm thinking to the angels, what is this going to look like? And they showed me and they said, so basically, it's going to be this beautiful project team because other people have these big dreams that feel too big, but you know how it works that when people come together in a heart-centered, intentional group, magic happens. And you know that you respond well to this type of support. Not creating a project because you're supposed to, or because it's super important, or because people expect it from you. But when you are invited to create for the joy of creation, you show up for this. And I'm like, I do, that's true. And that having a group to do it with, meaning I would get to be accountable to you, lovingly accountable, not, I don't want anyone shaming me like you said you were going to do, not that kind of thing, but more the thing where I get to celebrate my incremental victories. If I set up a schedule where, let's say, I'm going to be doing 10 pages a week, I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't decided that yet. But for example, if I'm going to do 10 pages a week, that I get to come back to my group and say, I did my 10 pages. Or maybe it's, I've really had this really hard week and I've only done 2 and I'm working my process around that. I find that when there is transparency and um, and I allow myself to be supported and witnessed and encouraged and loved, that magic happens. And I get to do this for you too. I mean, this is the exciting thing for me is I am a natural born cheerleader. One of the gifts, one of the things I love so much about what I do is I get to see the brightness of your spirit and the bigness of your soul. And if you come into this group and you say, I want to fill in the blank, I want to start an urban farm, I want to start raising alpacas, I want to write my book too, I have a podcast I want to do, I want to learn to do stand-up paddle boarding. I want to plan my trip to Machu Picchu. I don't know. I don't know what your version of the book is. It I and here's what's been so different for me. Listen, we've all been marketed tons of classes, right? coaching classes, coaching groups, manifesting. I mean, I market classes all the time. And I never want you to sign up for one of my classes or any class for that matter, where you sign up because you think you should, because somehow I know your secret sauce, and that somehow that I'm going to know something you don't know, and I'm going to somehow corral you into doing this thing. That's not my style. It's why I don't offer what I do as coaching anymore. I call it mentoring. But here's what I'm really, really good at. I'm really good at co-creating sacred space. And I'm really, really good at sharing a process. And if it feels in alignment for you, if you're kind of getting butterflies, if you're getting excited, if you feel like you're in a place where you could receive this and benefit from it, then I invite you to think about it. As I said in the other video, what I don't want to do is somehow generate false excitement for you, where you're like, oh, well, if Laurel's doing it, I've got to do it. I'm going to spend this money and then I'll show up for myself. I don't want you to come into this without feeling authentic enthusiasm for what it is you want to birth, because I know I've done that before. I signed up for a huge program to help me write my book because I wanted to, I had desire, but I don't know that I was there. And so I really felt like I disappointed myself. And we've all done that, right? But if you have a heartfelt dream or project that's been whispering and singing to you for a while, or maybe it just shows up in the next week. Maybe you're like, I totally had forgotten about this thing, or hadn't even thought about this other thing. And when you connect with it, when you close your eyes and you breathe and you connect with it and you feel its essence, if you feel energized, then it's something to contemplate. And also, if your life will allow you to devote 2 to 4 hours a week to this project for the next 8 weeks, we're not all in that place, right? So this is a really authentic and vulnerable share. One of the things I'm aware of is once I say this and share this with you, I'm lovingly committing to my path, and that scares me. There have been certain milestones in my life where I have felt this kind of energy. It's like the universe opened a gateway and said, you said you wanted to step in, you ready to step in, we're going to support you. But it's scary. It was like that when I met my husband and I found my courage to connect with him and share with him how I felt. I certainly felt this when I started doing my readings in the very beginning of my career. I felt this when I was guided to leave my job and launch Illuminating Souls. There have been several times in my life when I felt this energy. This is one of those times. And I'm excited about it, and I'm nervous, and it's interesting. I keep saying to the angels, oh my God, I hope I can do this. I hope I can do this. I hope this is going to be okay. And every time I do, the knowingness that I have is that I don't need to know that. I need to just trust the process. That the angels, there's so many things I love about working with the angels, and one of them is that the angels know me so well, and the angels know you so well too. I'm not saying I have a monopoly on that, but they know how to coax me forward, right? And they know how to coax you forward too. And everything about this project, everything about how to approach birthing the book, everything about the Epic Project Creation Group, it's all exciting me. And I'm a little scared and I'm nervous, but in the best sense of the word. It's like I can feel, oh, like this is one of those gateways opening, and I'm saying yes. So I'm sharing all of this with you. This is me and my transparency. And so if there's something about this that's calling to you, you're not sure it's a fit, I'd be happy to talk with you about it. No pressure. There's no pressure for you to sign up and join me in this. It's more an invitation because the angels kind of showed me a group, kind of we're gathered around an astral table, if you will. We're not in a real room. We're in a non-physical space, and I could start feeling your projects too. And I got so excited at the idea of supporting you too. And let's see what we can co-create in 8 weeks. Let's hold ourselves lovingly accountable to these dreams that are whispering to us. Let's go on an adventure and see what it is we can create. And I'll also say, for those of you who maybe you're not sure about a project, but maybe this idea of writing, something about how I'm talking about the writing and the words is speaking to you. I also have the writers, the Words of Light writing groups also starting again. I think, the last 18 months, I think, have been hard on the planet. And I love the way all of this is working together. The Loved Up groups, right before we did the Loved Up Vitality, we did Loved Up Remembering Who You Are, reigniting that divine flame within, connecting with this beautiful energy of vibrancy and vitality, reconnecting with my writing, reconnecting with the audacity of birthing a big, beautiful project. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this with you. That whether you sign up or not, I want you to, as as they say, I want you to do you. I want you to follow your guidance in whatever way the enthusiasm, the excitement, the exhilaration, even a little bit of that scary stuff is showing up as a way that is helping me move forward. I hope that this helps you move forward too, in whatever way, because I believe in you. You have wisdom, you have light, you have goodness, you have gifts within you. And I think it's time, with all that's been going on in the world, my friends, it is time for us to rise up and shine and have joy and have fun and love this planet and love our lives and love who we are and celebrate the experience to exist on the planet right now. So this, my friends, is where I am. And if you made it this far in the video, God bless you and thank you. I know I've been rambling for a long time, but I hope somewhere in this message, you have found a message for you too. And I send you love and I send you gratitude, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you so much. Bye.